Hey, I'm going to throw a little video on here, something that we found while we were thrift storing, but I forgot to mention it in my last video. This is a Klondike Big Inch Land Company Inc. Deed of Land. It entitles the bearer to 1 square inch. That's 1 inch. 1 square inch, actually, of land in the Yukon Territory, the Gold Rush Territory. I went on ahead and got a little frame for it because I just love this thing. It's official looking. It's got a seal on it and everything. What is the story upon this little piece of paper that's entitled "The Bearer to 1 square inch"? Here we go. I just did the research on it and this is what I found. Back in the 50s, a marketing executive by the name of Bruce Baker needed an idea to sell Quaker Oats to kids. And if anybody's had Quaker Oats, you know that it's oatmeal. And it's blah. So he needed an idea, and as a pitch man, he came up with this idea. He convinced Quaker Oats to buy 19 acres in the Yukon Territory. They bought it for $1,000. And they split up and they made 21 million 1-inch deeds, which entitled the bearer to 1 inch of land. Now, that was great, and I got my paperwork here in front of me. This coincided with a radio program that Quaker Oats was sponsoring called Sergeant Preston of the Yukon. It's a radio show that was back in the 50s. Now, what they did is, in 1955, in 93 newspapers across the United States, they ran advertisements that read, "Get a real deed to 1 square inch of land in the Yukon Gold Rush country, and you'll actually own 1 square inch of the Yukon land." The promotion was tied to their Sergeant Preston of the Yukon Territory radio show, and it also ran at the same time the radio show was on. So everybody got excited, and they went and they sold out as much Quaker Oats as they could manufacture. The deal was you send in 1 box top and a letter and an envelope, and they sent you this certificate back. And I mean, it's really cool. Each one is individually numbered. Like I said, it's got a seal. You would sign your name. This one was Paul Fraser, I think, owned this one. And everybody thought, oh my goodness, I own a square inch of land in the Yukon Territory. I am so excited. They went on ahead and they put them in drawers and they put them in their vaults and they put them in their safety deposit boxes. And these kids all grew up. And then they went to find out, they found these years later. I mean, I found it, I thought, hey, this is really official looking. And when I did the research, I just laughed my head off. They never registered any of these, which basically means that these are worthless. You owned a square inch of nothing. What's even worse, in 1965, the Canadians went on ahead and, I guess they repossessed the land for non-payment of taxes in the amount of $37.40. So they repoed the land, which really belonged to Quaker Oats, and then the Square Inch Land Company Incorporated was dissolved in 1966. So unfortunately for all of those that have these little certificates, and I'll go ahead and put the story in my video as well, these really are worth nothing. I just think that Baker was a genius. This is the greatest marketing scheme that I've ever seen. I mean, they got a lawyer, they made it legal, so everybody that got these actually thought that they were getting 1 square inch of land. And I mean, if you were digging around and found this in your drawer, you'd get all excited as well. This one is in mint condition. It's got some wear and tear along the corners and the edges. And it's got the sign, the seal. It's really neat looking. I guess the funny part about this whole thing is that these, if found, can sell for like about $40 as a collectible. And there's not that many. I'm sure there's not that many around. And once people found them and found out that they were worthless, they just, trashed them and threw them away, did whatever. But I think this guy was a genius, because back in 1955 he needed a gimmick, something to sell Quaker Oats. And so they did. They came up with this idea of own a piece of land in the Yukon. And since it was tied to the radio show, you know, Sergeant Preston and the Yukon and all that, everybody, the kids are all excited thinking, wow, I own a piece of land in the Klondike. So here it is. This is when it was found, and I just thought it was so neat. After I did the research, I didn't tear it up or throw it away. I framed it. And then just doing some research, I found out that, yeah, if you find one of these, it's worthless as far as the land. But I mean, this goes back to 1955, so this is a cool little piece of paper to have, and you could sell it as a collectible, frame it, and sell it for upwards of about $40. So don't just throw them away, keep them around. I just thought it was neat, so I wanted to share this little video with you, and I'll put the story in my description as well. Thanks for watching.